Hello everyone, Professor Noor here, and today I'm gonna go through chapter number 1, creating a worksheet and a chart. In Excel, chapter number 1, creating a worksheet and a chart. What are the objective of chapter number 1 is that you will be able to describe the Excel worksheet. You will be able to enter text and numbers into the cells, use the sum button and to sum the range of cells, to enter a simple function, to create a 3D pie chart, to change the worksheet name and the sheet tab color, to apply cell styles, to correct the error on a worksheet. So in this chapter number 1, what we're gonna do is that we are using Excel 2016. So if you have Excel 2019 also, you should be able to do well in it. So the first thing is that we need to open Excel. We have to launch Excel. So let me open Excel and then I will share the screen with you guys. So I will close Excel. Let me share the screen. So when you open Excel, the first thing that you see is blank workbook. So these are your welcome screen in Excel. So you will see these are all templates. You can use them, modify, and then you can use, but we're gonna start with a blank workbook. We're gonna start from scratch. So click on blank workbook. Now, once you have opened that, you will see Excel consists of columns and rows. The columns are represented by alphabet and the rows are represented by numbers. If you look in the top, you have in the right hand corner, you have this icon, the ribbon display option, where you can display the ribbon. So let me share with you what the ribbon is. This is your ribbon. The ribbon consists of groups like clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, editing, areas, right? So now when you see in Excel 2010, 2016, 2019, Microsoft they add what we call tab. So when you click on the tab, different tabs in here, you will see that automatically is gonna change the ribbon according to what tab you have clicked it, right? So when I'm in the home, these are the group consist of commands. So what's inside the group? What inside the group is the command, right? So most of Excel has all the command visible under the ribbon, and every of the group has a name. So if I say to you alignment, so alignment have all the command, and then the next section, the next group is numbers, and then if you see here I have styles, right? Then I have this icon here is to this display ribbon display option. So if you wanna change the ribbon display, so you can go here and you can change it. By default, it show the tabs and commands. So it means you wanna see the tab and the ribbon at the same time. So if you said I wanna change it, so you can go to auto hide ribbon. So the ribbon will hide while I'm typing. I will not be able to see it, but when I wanna use the command, I have to go up until I see. Move your cursor to the top and then click the green bar again. It's gonna make the ribbon visible. And then when I'm gonna type something, it's gonna hide. So if I go back to the green, move your cursor to the border, and then here, the ribbon will be visible. So that option is auto hide the ribbon. Now what if you wanna see only the tab? So click on it. I can only see the tab but not the ribbon. So if you want to see the ribbon, you have to click on the tab. See, once I'm done with the command I want to use, then I will click here. Then if I want to insert something, I will go to the insert tab, I will get the ribbon. So if you said, no, I don't want that, I want both the ribbon and I want my tab to stay there, so you have to go down here again and then click on show tabs and command. Now this is the default in Excel. Then you have the minimize, the maximize, and close in the top. Minimize, and then maximize or restore, and then close. If you look in your left top corner, you will see the auto save to save automatically, and this guy here is what we call the quick launch toolbar. The quick launch toolbar. So if you wanna, by default you will see the save, undo and redo. These will be by default under the quick launch toolbar. But if you wanna change it, or you wanna remove it, or you wanna add more to the quick launch, then obviously you can do so. So for example, if you wanna add, let's say, quick print or print preview, you see I add the print preview. Now you will click on the white down arrow to customize the quick access toolbar, and then if you don't want it, you can just click on it and it's gonna remove it from the quick access toolbar, you see. Now if you click on the file, now the file, this is the backstage, and then from the file you can go to a new, you can open a new Excel book, you can open an existing file. Info is when you wanna change the property of your Excel file. Save, if you wanna save it with a specific name or a specific location. And then save as actually is when you wanna change it with an old formation. You wanna save it in a PDF format or some other formation. But if you click on save, obviously save will save it as an Excel file. Save as a PDF, you can also save it here. And then we have print if you want to print, share if you want to share it, if you want to export this file to someone, then you can export it. You can publish it if you are using a shareware, then obviously you can publish it to your organization shareware. SharePoint, and then we have close to close it, and then this is about your account, and then if you click account, it's gonna say about your subscription and all this stuff, and then feedback, and then option means if you want more than what they have provided you, then obviously I will go with options, right? Now if you want to go back, now this is the backstage. When you are in the backstage, you are not performing anything, right? So if you want to go back, you will hit the white arrow. You see where my flashlight indicates. Click on it, it's gonna take you back. Now the other most important part in Excel is this guy here, the formula bar. That's where you have to put your formula, and then whatever you type in the cell, they're gonna be displayed under the formula bar. Now in the left of the formula bar, I have fx. Fx means to insert function. In Excel, we have more than 300 function, different kinds of functions. We have functions. If you click on the fx, I have functions. You see, if you click here, I have function for financial, date and time, math, statistical, lookup and references, database, text function, logical function. Is a bunch of them, so it's more than 300 functions, right? These are the most recently used function that most of the people, they use it, right? Now check sign means that if you enter something, for example, if I say my name Sadiq, and then I want to execute this, means I want to press the enter key so I can have Sadiq typed in the cell D11, right? So I can use this enter check. Or if you don't want to save this, I will hit the X, right? So if I do this, it's gonna delete it. But if you wanna type what you said, then obviously I will click the check. The check means that enter what I typed, right? But most of the time I don't do that. Once I type something, I will push the enter key from your keyboard. Now this box here is the name box. The name box is gonna tell us where my pointer or in which cell I'm located right now. So if I'm here, it's gonna show that I'm in P18. P is the column and the row number 18. And then the good thing with the name box is that suppose that you are somewhere here and I want to go back to the top. I want to go back to A1, right? So you will go to the name box and just you will type column A and 1. Column A and row number 1. That's where my cursor should be there. So I want to be there. And push the enter key. See? It's going to take you direct to that location. Now, you have 17,000 columns. So there's a lot of columns. And then you have a billion of rows in one sheet. So the whole thing is known as workbook. The whole thing is known as workbook, right? So one workbook consists of only one sheet in the beginning, but you can add with the plus sign. If you look down above the status bar, you can click here the plus sign to add more and more sheet. So for example, if I'm going to create a budget for a 12 month, then obviously I will end up adding 12 sheets. For every month, one sheet, right? So it depends. By default, you're going to start with one sheet in a workbook. So Access can have multiple sheets in a workbook. The whole thing is known as workbook. Excel is a spreadsheet, okay, which consists of multiple sheets. So you can, in one workbook, you can have multiple sheets, right? The next thing, if you look here, I have the scroll bar to move left and right, and then I have the vertical to move up and down, and then this is the horizontal scroll bar. Below that, then I have these shortcut keys, so you can change your view to normal, to page layout, page break, and then I have the zoom. The zoom is to zoom your screen so that everybody can see what I am typing in here. So I will zoom it a little bit more, look. So you can zoom it like this if you want to. So I will go back and I will shrink it back so you can move the slider back. So I will make it to be like this, right? Now, the first thing that now when you're gonna be typing something in the cell can have, you can add text, you can add numbers, not just you can add text, you can add numbers, you can add a picture if you want to. So the first thing now we have to enter the worksheet title, because without the title of your worksheet, how you gonna know what is this worksheet is all about? So we're gonna type the title for this worksheet. So in A1, I'm gonna type personal budget, personal budget worksheet. So this is my title. Then press the enter key. My subtitle is gonna say monthly estimates. All right. Then I will enter now the column titles. Without the column title, how I will know what number goes under what column, right? So in A3, we're gonna type income. You can now move to the right of the income, means you can go to B3 by using the arrows in your keyboard, or you can use your mouse. Okay, so the right arrow will take us to B3 so that we can type the title for column B3. Or if you are here and you press the enter key, you will go down and then you can move up again with the arrows or with your mouse. So either way you like. And then next I will type is gonna be January. Now I want to type January, my income from January to December, right? So in Excel, what we call is that we have a fill handle. The fill handle will allow me to write down, I don't need to write February, March. I will automatically, Excel will add the rest of the month, right? So in Excel, this feature is very important, the fill handle. So where is the fill handle? You see Excel has, you can say three, your mouse will change to 3 points. This is the double arrow, you see, not this one. This one is when you want to highlight the cells or select the multiple cells, then you should have the plus, the tick plus sign. Now for the fill handle, you see I have a rectangle, a square box in the bottom, in the left, in the right bottom of the cell. And then what you need is move your cursor over it until it become a teeny plus sign. You see a black teeny plus sign, then hold your left key, and then you have to move it over the cells, and it's going to tell you C3 will have February, D3 will have March, E3 will have April, and so on until you get to December. That's where we want to end up, December, you see. Then I need to go to N3, and then I want to set total. So now we entered the title for the columns. Now I want to enter the row titles. Okay, so the row title now A3. This one is A3, A4. In A4, I will type wages. Then I will type dividends. Then I will type total. Now I will leave the row A7 blank. I will go to A8 and I will type expenses. And then now expenses for the whole year, right? So what we're gonna do, I can just type here January and then I can fill it with the fill handle, right? Like I will do January like this, like we did earlier. And then I can go back here and then I can fill it down like this, right? So I get whatever I want. The other way you can do, this is the same thing. That's what you wanna copy here, right? So you will click B3 and highlight the B3 all the way to N3. Now when you select B3 to N3, that's your range, R-A-N-G-E, range. We call them range, okay? So once you select, I will go to home and then I will click on copy. Once you copy it, you will get this flashing light that indicate that these cells have been selected. And then I will click on B8 and then I will hit paste from the clipboard under the home tab. I will click paste. Once the title has been copied to the destination, then I don't want this flashing light. So what you need, you can press the escape key. You can press the escape key from your keyboard. In your keyboard, in the left of F1, you will see escape, ESC, escape. So press the escape key. So now everything is done. Now we're gonna go and type all the expenses now. So is rent, food, tuition, books, entertainment, car payment, gas. Then we have miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Then we have total. And then leave the row A18 blank. And then type net. Right? Now I will teach you how to enter number. So for the wages, January wages, you had 1,417 and 12 cents, right? And then because your wages are the same, so what I will do, I will fill it all the way to December because it's constant. So no change in your wages throughout the months. So if you wanna, because why should I go here and type 17, 14, 17, 12, where I can just hold the fill handle, look the fill handle again, and this will copy it all over till December. Okay? Then I will go here, the dividend is 4,229 and 71 cents. Then I will add zeros till July. In July, the dividend was again 4,029 and 71 cents. And then we had zero in the remaining month. See? Now we're gonna go down and put the expense for January. The rent is 410, 280 is the food, and then the tuition is $1,500. The books are 500. Now the entertainment is 100. Now as soon as I typed 100 in B13, you will see the entertainment now disappear and half of it I can see. Why is that? Because entertainment that you typed was in A13. So when I type something in B13, so obviously what you typed is longer than the size of the space you had. So it's gonna cut off. But we can fix it at the end of the day. And then we have a car payment, 215 and 47 cents. And then we had gas is 100. The miscellaneous is 100, right? So now the car and the food, they will remain constant throughout the year, throughout the month. So what we're gonna do, instead of filling one at a time, I will highlight these two guys. You see my cursor is in the middle of the cell, and hold the left key and highlight the second cell, which is B10. Once these two guys is highlighted or selected, the fill handle again, the small square in the bottom of the cell that you highlighted, then move your cursor over it until it become a teeny plus sign. Hold it, the left key, and drag it until December. We're done with that. Now the other thing that we can also copy is this guy here, the entertainment, and then I see the car payment, gas, and miscellaneous. All they are the same. They will remain constant throughout the year. So I will copy them with the fill handle. See? You don't need to type it. Now the books is a little bit different because you had paid 1,500 in January, then zero, and the book you paid 500 in January. No need to pay for February. So you have zero, zero here, zero, zero, and then you paid 300 in May for the tuition, and you paid 100 for the book. Then in June, you had zero, zero. Then in August, you paid $1,500, and then the rest is gonna be zero. You can just type zero, and then we're gonna type zero, and then we paid 500 for the books, and then zero and zero. So that's the way how you're gonna be typing number and text into the cells. Now, the next thing I wanna do is that we're gonna calculate, we're gonna use the functions. So the function is a predefined formula. So as I said, we have a bunch of functions in Excel. So in this case now, we wanna sum columns of the numbers. So to sum the column of numbers, like for example, I wanna sum this guy here. to get the total January's wages and dividends. I want to add them to get the total, right? So what I will do, I will move my cursor to B6, and then I will go all the way to the group that says editing, and then you see the auto sum. So you will click the auto sum. Once you click the auto sum, Excel is gonna ask you B4 and B5. Is that the range you wanna sum to get the total? Is that the two cells involved to get the sum? If B4 and B5 is what you wanna sum, then just press the enter key. You're done, right? Now, what we can do is that once you get the total for January, the wages and dividends total for January, you don't need to go back in February to find the total and then do the auto sum again. No need for that. Once you have the formula with the fill handle, I will just copy the formula to the rest of the month. See? Right? Now the same thing we're gonna be using. What we call is to calculate multiple total at the same time. To calculate multiple total at the same time. So how we gonna do that is this. Now I can do like this. Look, I can go here in N4, so I can sum all the wages from January all the way to December, right? So my cursor is in N4, and I can select the auto sum, and then I can push the enter key, and that is done, right? So if you want to delete, just go back to the cell and hit the delete from your keyboard. Now this is right, you did well. But if you want to calculate multiple totals at the same time, like I want to calculate wages, dividends, and total at the same time, so what you need is just highlight these cells. See, highlight. Again, move your cursor in the middle, hold the left key and highlight the rest of the cell. When you see your cell has been highlighted, then click on the auto sum and you're done. In a quick manner, you will see Excel will add up those because you have selected multiple cells to get the total, right? Now the same thing I will apply here, right? So what I will do now, for example, if you want to find the total for January, the expenses for January, February, March, so what I will do, I will highlight them like this. Look, once I highlight it, then I will go to the auto sum and I will click that. Automatically everything will be summed. You can do the way I showed you earlier here, okay? But here what I did is I highlighted the cell and then I clicked the auto sum, right? Now to calculate this total for all these expenses, I will go to N9 and I will highlight and then I will click on auto sum. See, this one is done. Now to find the net, now for the net is that we have to enter our formula using the keyboard. For the net is located under B19. B19, I want to find the net between the income in January and the expenses in January, okay? So to do that, now we have to use the formula using the keyboard. So to do that, always remember, whenever you want to create a formula, you have to start with an equal sign. Without equal, it's not going to work. So you have to start with equal, and then the cells that's involved. In this case, is B6. B6 was the total for the income in January minus the total expense in January. So that is B17. So B6 minus B17, that should give us the net, right? So now the good thing in Excel also, if you look in the formula bar here, it also indicates the cells in a colorful manner. You see B6 in blue color and B17 in red, and the green is where you need the total to display. So now once the formula is good, push the enter key or press the enter key. So I get 2,241 and 36 cents. Now move your cursor to B19, and then we have to use the fill handle to fill the rest, so we can find the net for February till December. And then also we can find the net for this, so you can stretch it more, fill it more, right? So that is that. Now, the next thing in your book, they said is, now we need to format our worksheet, because if you look at here, our cell doesn't look nice. It's just black and white, right? To make it fancy, we have to format the worksheet to emphasize the certain entries and make the worksheet easier to read and understand. Because sometimes it's hard to understand what is what. So to make it easy to read and understand, we have to format the worksheet. Now the first thing that we want to do is that we need to change the cell style. So what is a cell style? A cell style is a predefined font size, and a font color that you can apply to a cell, right? So now where that stuff is. The first thing now is select A1. In this case, A1 is your personal budget worksheet, right? So select, and then we're gonna go to the predefined style. You see the group that says styles. So select the styles, and then you will see this is the style. These are the predefined styles. Okay. So click the small black down arrow for more. And then from here, we have different kind of styles, right? So we are looking for the title one, the one that says title. So select the title. As you select the title, you see the title change, right? So the next thing that we need is, now we need to change the font, right? So let's go to A2, which is the monthly estimates. And then we will go to the group. Under the home is a group that called font under the ribbon. And then now the font is Calibri. We need to change it to Calibri Light. You see, I changed to Calibri Light. Now the next thing in your book they said is that we need to apply the boldface to the cells. So highlight the A1 and A2 and make it boldface. See? Once we apply the boldface, the next thing now is that we need to increase the size of the cell entry. Now let's go to A2, and now the A2, if you look under the font, the size is 11. We want to change it to 14. So click the right arrow and choose 14. So the 14 inches, right? Or 14 points. So once we have done with the 14 point, now the next thing we need is that we want to color or change the font color of a cell entry. Now to change the color, select the A1, go to the font again, and you see the big A with the red underline, that's your font color, the font color. So click on it, and your book is looking for this color here, the orange SN2, orange SN2. You see, as you move your cursor over the color theme, it's gonna tell you what color is it. So we need orange SN2. So click on it. And then we need to change the monthly estimate with the same color. So just because you already have used this orange color, just click the A here again. So the monthly estimate will change to this color, you see. Now, The next thing we need to do is that we want to merge the cells. We want to merge cells so that they're going to be in the middle of the screen. So the task is to center the cell entries across the columns by merging the cells. Now the book says, why do we need to do that? Now centering a total across the column used in the body of the worksheet improves the worksheet appearance, because now your titles in the left is a little bit hard to read, right? So obviously what we're gonna do is, while we are merging these cells, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna make it to look nice and your title will be in the middle. Now the other problem with these guys is that, like, suppose mistakenly if I went to B1 and I typed my name, see, it's gonna hide the personal budget worksheet title that I said. Why? Because B1 is available, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna merge the cells so that the A1 will become one column and one row, okay? So to do that, I want you to click on A1 and your cursor has to be in the middle and highlight the cells until N1. Once you have selected A1 to N1, now if you look under the ribbon, the group that called alignment, and you will see merge and center. Merge and center. So click on merge and center. So that become one row and one column, you see. All you see from A1 to N1 now in the name box is what? Is A1. You see that? Now let's do the same with monthly estimate. So move your cursor in the middle of in the cell A2, in the middle of A2, and highlight until N2, and go to the alignment and click on merge and center. Now both the title and the subtitle is merged and they are in the center of the screen. Now the next thing now we want to do is to format the rows using the cell styles. Now to do that, what we need is we need to select A3, which is the income, all the way to N3, and then we need to go to the style group, see the style group, and then click the small down arrow, and then I want you to select for me heading 1. Click for me heading 1. Now the same thing we're gonna do for this one here too. So select A8 and highlight A8 all the way to N8. And I want you to go back to the styles, click here the down arrow for more, and click heading 1, right? So once we have done heading 1, so you see both, they look alike, right? The only difference that now the cell is cutting off because you have increased the size of your column. You see, some of it is gonna cut off, right? So that's normal. We can stretch it. Later on, I will stretch it. So the next thing now I'm looking at, guys, is we need to format the cells, right? So what I want to do now, we're gonna select A6, which is the total here, A6 all the way to N6. Then hold the control key. One of your finger has to be on the control. Hold the control and select the A17 all the way to N17, right? After you have selected both the cells, you will see your cell is gonna turn to a gray. That means both the cell is selected. Now we need to go to the styles again. Click the down arrow for more, and this time we will select the total style. You see the total here style? So click it. Once we clicked it, now click anywhere so you can see what you did. So this is the effect you have given, right? Now we need to select A19 all the way to N19. So N19, A19 is the net all the way to N19, you see. And then we're gonna go back to the style, and the style want us to give it SN2. SN2 means we need to change the color, the back and the fore color. So click SN2. We're done with that. Now we want to give like an alternative color to these cells here. So I need you to select A4, move your cursor to A4, select the A4, then highlight A4 all the way to N4. Now hold the control key and select A9 all the way to N9. While holding the control key, select A11, the tuition, all the way to N11. Then while holding the control key, select A13 all the way to N13. While still holding the control key, select the A15 all the way to N15 and then release your finger from the control key. Now you should see those cells will be highlighted with a gray color, right? Now once you highlighted this cell, now we need to go back to the styles and click more. And this time I want to pick the theme cell style 20% and SN2. 20% and SN2. So it's a little bit lighter orange tone. So click on it. Now I need you to select for me A5, which is the dividend, all the way to N5. Hold the control key. Select for me A10 all the way to N10. While holding the control key, select the A12 all the way to N12. While still holding the control key, select the A14 all the way to A14. And then finally, select the A16 all the way to N16. Once you have selected it, go back to the ribbon under the styles group, click the more, and then look for now 40% SN2. So click on it. Now it's been selected. Now click anywhere so you can see the difference. And then what we're gonna do now, we need to save our worksheet, right? So you will go to File, or you can hit the floppy disk from the Quick Launch toolbar. It's up to you, either way you wanna save it. So if you click the floppy disk, you will be asked where you wanna save it, right? So you can save it in OneDrive. You can save it to your documents. So what I will do, I will save it on the document. So first I need to give it the name. So one way is like this. Now, if you don't want to use the save from the quick launch, I will go to File. I will hit Save. And then I will browse. It's going to open the dialog box. And I will click on Document. By default, you know, Microsoft Files is going to be saved under the Documents. So if you want to save it under the desktop, I will click Desktop. And then under the file name, now if you don't give it a name, it's going to save as book 1, book 2, book 3. So book 1, what is book 1? Every book has to have a name, right? So this will be, the name will be Linda Fox Budget. Linda Fox Budget. And then I will hit Save. So the file is being saved, right? Now, the next thing that I want to do is now to adjust the column width. Why do we need to adjust the column? The book says to make the worksheet easy to read, the column width should be adjusted appropriately. So I have three ways that I can do that. One way, the most easy, you see most of the column A, the stuff is cutting off. See entertainment, I don't see the whole entertainment. Car payment, I don't see the car payment. And then miscellaneous that I typed, I don't see the whole thing. So what I will do now, to stretch any column that you have a problem with, you have to move your cursor like the way my cursor is in the right side of the column A, and then you will see I have what we call is a double, your book says a split, a pointer, move your pointer to become a split double arrows. You see the split double arrows? So your cursor has to move to the right of that cell and double click it. See, boom, you're done. Now, if you want to stretch January, just click here and double click it, look. If you want February, here you go. Just double click it. Now, the other way you can do to stretch your column, you see now September, October, November, they are all cutting off. Just to show you now the second method, I will click on J column. Don't click on the cell itself. Click on the column that you have an issue with. And then move your cursor until you get, move your cursor to the right of the J. And then until you see the split double arrow, hold the left key of your mouse and you can drag it. Now see, it tells me that the width is 8.57 inches, which is equal to 65 pixels. So you can move it. If I say move it to 13, so look, the number is flipping there until you see 13. Once you get 13, then I will release my finger. See, 13. Now, if you say no, you know what? I increased it too much. I want to shrink it down. Just move your cursor back to the right, and then you can shrink it back. See, you can shrink it back. Okay. If you see this number sign like this, it means that the number is too big and the size of the column of the cell is too small. So then you have to go back and stretch it. You have to drag it to the right. So look, I'm in the right of the column J, and I will drag it to the right. I will move it to 13. 13 looks best. See? Now the third way, if you say, no, I don't like dragging, most of the time I like the double click. So the third one is now, what if you have multiple cells and at the same time you wanna change the width of those columns, right? So in this case, I have K, L, M, right? So click on the K and then hold the shift key and select M. So once you have selected this, now we're gonna go to the group under the ribbon, under the home tab. There is a group called cells, and then you have format, and then you will see I can do auto fit column width, or I can use column width. In the column width now it says 843 is what the size of those three columns is. So if you want to change it, so I will say give me 12. So click OK. Now 12, all the three has been adjusted to 12. Now let me show you. If you go here, see the size is 12, which is 89 pixels. This one also is 12. Look, okay. So if you want to stretch a little more, double click it. Look, double click it, double click it. Now, if you think there is something you want to shrink it down, double click it. Look, all those extra space will be taken off. Look. Now this one, April. So that's the way how you gonna stretch your column. Now you can also stretch your row. So you see the row 2 here, and if I move my cursor here, the size is 25 pixels, right? So you can move your cursor in the bottom of the cell 2, the row 2, and you can stretch it down, look. And then if you want to change it back, just go back here and until it becomes 25, because it was 25 pixels. See? So not only the column, you can stretch it, you can stretch the row also. Now the next is to use the name box to select a cell. Now for example, let's say that I am somewhere, I don't know where I am, right now I'm in I5, you see where I am? So let's say I'm here now in M17 and you want to go to A3. So the good thing is that why do we need to use the name box to select a cell? Your book says you might want to use the name box to select a cell if you are working with a large worksheet and it is faster to type the cell name rather than scrolling to and clicking it. You see? So just now I will go here and I will say go to A3. I tapped A3 and push the enter key. So I'm here now, right? So the next thing now I'm going to share with you is to adding a pie chart to the worksheet. Now in Excel, we have 15 chart types. You can use 15 kind of chart in Excel. So which include column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, area chart, XY, scatter chart, stock, service, radar, tree map, and sunburst chart, right? So in this book here, in chapter number 1, we're gonna be creating a pie chart, right? So to create the pie chart, I need you to select A9, which is the rent, all the way to A16. Then hold the control key. Let me shrink down my screen. There you go. So you can see what I selected. So select the A9 all the way to A16. Hold the control key and select this guy here, right? So before I will show you the chart, first let's format the dollar sign. I forgot to show you how to format the numbers in the worksheet, okay? So to do that, I want you to select B4 all the way to N4, okay? And once you have selected B4 all the way to N4, what we want to do is we want to format the number in the worksheet. Why do we need to use that? They said using a dollar and cent format for selected cell makes it clear to user of the worksheet that the number represent dollar values without cluttering the entire worksheet with dollar sign, and applying the comma makes the larger number easier to read, right? So select the B4 all the way to N4, and then you see the group under the home tab is number, and hit the dollar sign. So the dollar sign has been added. Then I want you to select B5 all the way to N5. So let me shrink my screen a little bit. So B5 all the way to N5, and I want to give a comma style. So go back to the number group, click on the big comma style. Now you will notice that the big number will be separated by the comma, and then because the formation we have used is accounting, and you see the zeros will be replaced by negative. Negative indicates 0, right? So what you need to do, if you don't like the the negative, you can just go here and change it to general or number. So I will select general. General means 0. You see that? And if you say no, I want to change it back to the accounting, just hit the comma style again. See? So either way you like. Now, the next thing we want to do is we need to select B6 all the way to N6, and then we have to also select B9. So hold the control key hold the control key, select B9 all the way to N9, and then select B17 all the way to N17, and then finally select B19 all the way to N19. Once these cells are being selected, I want them to have a dollar sign. So you see the dollar sign is being added. Now we need to select a B10, which is the 280, B10 all the way to N16. So you will select the N10 until N16, right? So you will highlight all these like this. And then I want you to give me a comma style. So go to the number group and click on the comma. So everything is done. Now, the next thing is now about the chart. So I was telling you how to put the pie chart. So to do that, so everything look perfect. Now we need to put the chart, right? So I need you to select for me A9 all the way to A16. Hold the control key. Move your cursor to N9 all the way to N17, N16. Once the two columns values are selected, we're gonna go to insert. We're gonna go to the group that says charts, and then you have the pie. Click on the pie chart. We have the 2 pie, and then we have 3 pie, and then we have the donut. So the book wants us to get the 3D pie. So click on the 3D pie. Once you click the 3D pie, now what's gonna happen is that the chart will be coming on the same sheet that you had on the same sheet that you tabbed all the value, right? So the first thing is that we need to change the title of the chart. So click on the title and then highlight the chart title, and let's type monthly expenses, and then click anywhere. Now the next thing in your book is to apply style to the chart, right? So why do we need to apply style to a chart? The book says if you want to enhance the appearance of a chart, you can apply a chart style. So I have two ways that I can apply that. If you look in the ribbon and you see here, when I selected the object chart, I have two options for the chart in your tab, design and format. Now, if you look here, I have in the ribbon, I have chart style, and these are my chart style. When I will move my cursor over it, obviously it's gonna show you the different styles. Now, this is the style number 5. Then we have this one, then we have this one, and then if you see, if you wanna get more, and then we have something like this, and then something like this, right? So one way is to use, if you wanna change the style of your chart, I can either use the ribbon chart style, or I can use the icon in the right side of the chart. You see I have 3 icons. Plus is the chart elements, then we have chart styles, and then we have the filter, right? So click on the second icon. It's the same. If you look these and look in the top, they look the same. They are the same thing, see? Either you wanna do it from here, you wanna do it from here, it's the same thing. So if you want to do it from the short from this icon, then scroll a little bit down, and then if you move your cursor, it's gonna tell you what style is. So we are looking for style number 5. You see, it says in, as a screen tooltip, it says style 5. You see. So if you don't like it to use it from here, then no worries. Just click here to deselect this style dialog box. Look. So click is gonna make it visible. If you wanna deselect, just click the pencil again. you can use the style number 5 from here. So as you move your cursor over it, that's style number 3, number 4, number 5. So the book wants us to use style number 5. So once we have style number 5, the next thing now your book says is that we have to name our sheets. See the tab, the sheet tab, now it says sheet 1. What is sheet 1? I need to know what this worksheet is all about. So if you are creating a, like a budget for your whole year, so I will name January budget. Then I will name the other sheet as February budget, right? So now to change the sheet tab names, you will have to double click the sheet. You see here it says sheet 1, right? So you can just do double click it, and as soon as you double click sheet 1, look in the bottom of the screen. When I double click, it's highlighted with a gray. Now I will override and I will name this as monthly finance. This is my monthly finances, and push the enter key. Now we named it monthly finances, right? Now if you want to give a background to this tab, you will do right click on monthly finances tab, right click. When you did right click on it, you will see the shortcut menu and look for tab color, and the tab color they want is blue. They want it to be blue color, so select the blue color. Now that's the way how you gonna name your sheet, and then how you gonna give it a background color. Now you can also use what we call the ribbon to do this. See how? Go back to the home, and first you need to deselect, because see my cursor, what I'm selecting the object is the chart. So click anywhere in the sheet. Now I will go to the home. Now you see here it says cells, the group that with the cells. Click on format, and you see here rename sheet and tab color. So you can use it using the ribbon. You can change the sheet name, and also you can give it the color you want. But if you want to do the easy way, just double click it, and then rename it. And if you want to give a color, then right click, and then you will see the tab color, right? Now the next thing in your book, they said we need to move the chart in its own worksheet. I don't want the chart to be in the same place where I have my information, right? I can drag it down, but the book wants us to have it in its own worksheet. Now to do that, click on the chart until you see the dots. Now let's see here in the right of the help, you will see design and format, and above that you will see in the green area is going to say chart tools. So the chart tool, the chart consists of 2 commands, or it has 2 tabs. One is design, the other one is format, you see. So click on the design tab. In the design tab now, look at the last option. The last option says move chart. I want to move this chart in a separate worksheet. So click on move chart, and then when you click the move chart, you will get the move chart dialog box. Click on the first option, new sheet, and then you have to give it the name. At the same time, it's gonna name the sheet also. So you have to write here monthly expense chart, expense chart, and then click OK. You see now we add the new sheet with the name that you specified. Now the next thing is, what if you want to move? Because It's not good like you have the chart, then you have the information, the sheet that has all your numbers, right? So what I want to do is that I want to move the monthly finance to be the first, and the monthly expenditure should be the second sheet. So to do that, you see now my cursor, my cursor is over the monthly expense, right? Hold the left key of your mouse until you see that I have a piece of white paper with me and a black arrow in the right hand side. You see the right arrow? So move the white until you see the down arrow. The black down arrow is indicating where you want to move these monthly finances worksheet, right? So if I want to move it here, then I will just release my finger, the left finger. Now, if I want to move this back to the right, so what I will do, I will select the monthly, and then you see the black arrow indicating downward. That should be to the location you want to move. So you want to move it here. You see the black arrow. Now release your finger. Now I want to get it back because I want the monthly fan to be the first sheet to be clicked. So I will select this and I will drag it here. So that's the way how to move. Now, if you want to give color to this one also, you will do right click, tab color, and whatever color you want to give. For example, I will say give me the green color. Now, if I click monthly, now see it's going to change to green. That's the background color, right? Now, the next thing is printing a worksheet, okay? So to print, I will go to File and Print. Now, once I hit File and Print, you see my stuff is cutting off. Why is that? Because my orientation is what? Portrait. I don't want portrait. First, you need to change the orientation to landscape. Once you change it to landscape, it's still that some of my column is cutting off. So what you need is go to the noise scaling option under the setting, and I want you to click on fit the sheet on one page. Once you did that, you see everything is being fit in one sheet, right? But the problem I have is now I don't see the chart. You see it says 1 of 1. Why is that? Because you said under the setting it says print the active sheet. So if you go back, I am active in this worksheet, not the chart, right? So if you go to File and then Print, obviously you want to print the one where you are active, right? But if you want to print the 2 sheets in that workbook, then click on the setting here and select Print Entire Workbook. So what's going to happen now, look down in the right hand side, you have the navigation. It says 1 of 2 now. So if I click 2, next page will be printed the chart, you see. And if I click 1 here, it's going to, so obviously 2 pages will be printed now, right? So pages printed in a portrait orientation has the short, like 8.5 edges at the top of the printout. So the printed page is taller than it is wide. So the landscape prints the long, like 11 inches edge at the top of the paper. Okay, so always we need to make it landscape. Okay, the next thing that I want to share with you is the auto calculate. So let's go back, click the arrow. Now suppose that, guys, when you are here and I wanna add N9 all the way to N16. Now if you look, this is the in your status bar, look down. This is what we call the auto calculate. The auto calculate is on the status bar. That's your status bar, and then you see the average for what I selected is 2,358 is the average. And count means how many value is from N9 to N16. So that is 8 of them. And then the total has been summed, and then the total is 18,000. If you look down here, it says $18,865, right? Now, if your boss want to find what's the maximum I don't see the maximum, right? So now lucky we have only like 8 or 9 of these cells. But what if you have 20 cell or 30 cell or 40 values, and then you want to find out of the 40 values which one is the highest? So what you need to do is you have to move your cursor to the status bar and do right click on it, and then you will get the shortcut menu, and then you see the max. Click on the maximum. Now click anywhere again in the status bar. Now you will see the max value for what you highlighted is 4,920. That's the maximum. Okay. So if I select this here in May, all the way from F9 all the way to F16, I want to find what's the maximum value I have. The maximum I have is 410. You see? And then if you don't want the max to be visible on your status bar, just do right click and you can remove it, right? So that's the auto calculate, and I show you how to determine the maximum. Now the next and the last thing, what if you want to do correction? Suppose that you did wrong and you want to correct the spelling of something. Just move your cursor and, like, let's say September or October, I did something wrong. I will move my cursor here and I will change the spelling or anything from the formula bar, or I will double click the cell until I see my cursor is blinking inside the cell, and then I can move with the arrows and I can change whatever I want to change, you see. So with this, that ends our chapter number 1, and I hope you have learned the stuff in chapter number 1. And thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.